happy Saturday. Welcome back. Or welcome if you're new here. I have so many new people on this channel. Like, y'all found me this month and I was just like, where did y'all come from? Who sent you? Hello, my name is Frye. I love all things books. I love being a baddie. I love smelling good. But here, we talk about books. Today is the first Saturday of the month. That means it's time to do Book and Breakfast with your girl, Breezy. If you're new here, Book and Breakfast is a little something I like to do every month. We cook together, we talk books, we talk new things going on in the bookish space, all of that good stuff. And this is also like our community hub for our book club. So if all of those things sound interesting to you, if you love to talk all things books, from new releases to what I'm currently reading to what we're going to be reading together, and if you love to cook, because your girl be throwing down in the kitchen, okay? Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you tap into this video. Y'all, I have some good stuff for you today. Back this past fall, I did a delicious brown butter apple crumb cake recipe for the channel, and I wanted to take that and make kind of like a summary version of it. This is what we're working towards today. So today I have a white chocolate raspberry crumb cake for you guys with a vanilla bean crumble. So let's go ahead, let's get into our baking, and let's talk about our book of the month. All right, baby loves, let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all already know how we do. We are going to bake together and talk about our book of the month for May. If you're interested in exact measurements, I will have everything in the description box below for you to follow along. This month we did read I Accidentally Hooked Up with a Vampire by Jessica Cage, and this is book 2 in her Accidents Happen series. Book 1 was I Accidentally Summoned a Demon Boyfriend, and I was pleasantly surprised to see the direction that book 2 has taken in this series. So book 2 is following Whitney Harris. She is a very well-known art broker in her community, and when we meet her at the top of the book, she's super excited because she is expecting to get a promotion. But unfortunately, the events that happened with Raina in book 1 were used as an excuse to let Whitney go from her position. After she finds this out, she decides, you know what? My friends have really great things going on and I want to be able to support them. And so she doesn't tell her friends and decides that she's going to go ahead to the release party for one of her best friends who is also an author. She goes to this release party. She has some really creepy, icky dust-ups with her former employer, and she decides that she just needs a break from the moment. She breaks off from the party, and while she is kind of exploring the venue, she runs into this fine-ass brother. Well, this man's name is Domino, right? And he has a very mysterious edge to him. He is tall and fine, and he just instantly gravitates towards Whitney and her aura. One thing leads to another, and they end up hooking up and having a one-night stand at the party. Domino takes Whitney up to his office, and he lays it down, okay? Like, he lays it down. The best she's ever had. And we definitely ain't talking about no damn Drake, okay? Domino put it down, and Whitney instantly becomes kind of obsessed with this guy. Like, he is all of the things that she has looked for in a man. And on top of that, he is very much invested in her career and the potential for her success. He is the type of man that doesn't just want to be on the sidelines and hate. Like, he wants to invest in her being the best that she can possibly be. But of course, things go awry when she discovers in some very unsavory ways that Domino is not just any guy. Domino is actually a vampire. Not just a vampire, but the vampire brother of the literal king of the vampires in their city. And that is really where this story kicks off. This one right here definitely kind of took a turn, although it had some similarities from book 1. It definitely took a turn, and we're kind of really seeing how everything connects. We're seeing how Whitney and Raina's connections are so much more deeper than just Raina causing a very long string of events and her disappearance in book one. We're discovering that there is a much deeper lineage within our FMCs that are popping up in the Accidents Happen series. These aren't just accidents, they're not just coincidences. And I think those of us who read this book together really did figure that out. I will say, I felt like Domino was in some ways a less interesting character than Metis from book one. If you read book one, Metis was the demon that our girl Raina accidentally summoned, and he came with lots of interesting things, including literally living in hell and having a rotating appendage. Domino wasn't quite as interesting as Metis was, but I think that that was kind of necessary. In this book, I think the focal point truly was Whitney. And Domino was really one of those characters that, although he had a very strong presence, his strength wasn't in him being domineering. His strength lied in his ability to allow Whitney to shine and be present and be forward. He was a level of stability that I think Whitney truly needed at a time when everything was really topsy-turvy. He was a source of strength and he was a source of consistency, although his presence did bring a lot of chaos into her life. But let's be honest, the chaos would have happened eventually anyway. There was so much going on in kind of the subplot of this book. We know that we have these characters that are coming in and are not everything that they seem. And it's very clear that the majority of the characters that we're meeting throughout these books now are not 100% human. And this supernatural world is running much deeper than we thought that it would. A couple of predictions that I do have for the series upcoming. If you're worried about spoilers, you might want to not listen to this part. Lucosa, our witch from the underworld, I think that she has her hands up in all of this. She knows a little bit too much where nobody else seems to really know anything. I suspect that she is kind of working to get things in order to try to reconnect these various tribes of women who are from like this alien planet that have been just like dropped off and are now descendants. I think she's trying to reconnect. There were a lot of references to kind of creating a supernatural army, and I suspect that we will probably be getting a book for each woman that represents each tribe from this nation. I also suspect that Lucosa may be one of them. I just have a feeling she's giving elder vibes. She's all up in it, for real, for real. And so I think that that may end up being the trajectory for the next several books. We do know that we have book 3, and the next one is going to be focused on a shadow hunter. So that is going to be super duper interesting. I will also say that the one thing that I loved about this book over the first one was the sense of friendship and camaraderie. I was really frustrated with Raina's lack of support for the majority of book 1, and it was so nice to see Whitney with all of her girlfriends and having so much support and love and having people around her that actually believed her. I think that was one of the most difficult parts of Raina's story and journey, was that she truly was living in a situation where nobody believed her. For those of you that recall, in book 1, it literally took demons breaking down someone's door for Raina to be believed, and we really saw her kind of going through the motions alone for the majority of the book. And it was a nice turn to see Black women and friendships and strength and sisterhood in this book, as opposed to how we really did have our FMC being very much a loner, not by her own choice in book 1. So yeah, this was an amazing read. I had a good time, and I know that you guys did too. Thank you guys so much for reading this title with me this month. It was a good ass time. All right, baby loves, that is it. That is our wrap up for our book of the month for May. I accidentally hooked up with a vampire. This was such a good read. 4.5 stars. I only take off 0.5 because, like one of you guys said in the comments, I just wish the parts came with, you know, some additional accessories, you know. We were spoiled with book one, but this was still phenomenal. It had everything that I hope for, especially in a story that is female dominated and female centered. It really gave what I needed it to give. You guys really enjoyed this book and had a time with it. I had so much fun chatting with you guys as we went through and talking about our predictions. Like, this is what I live for. I love that I am actually creating the type of community that I want to see. And I love you guys. I love you guys so much. So, big one for Jessica Cage. We are 2 books down this year. And now it is time to go ahead and talk about what are our choices for June. You guys know that now I have more of a process when I'm doing my TBRs for the month. And one of the things that I try to focus on is reading genres that I don't really give enough attention to, or that are kind of new to me. And so I have so many different thriller books that I've been wanting to tap into. At the top of the year, I really got into S.A. Cosby. Like, I love me some S.A. Cosby. And kind of in celebration of that genre through the lens of Black authors, I wanted to do thriller this month, but make it Black. So these are our choices for our thriller picks for June. The first one is Cutthroat by Octavia Grant. I have been wanting to get into Octavia Grant's writing for a minute. I do follow her on all social platforms. So I felt like this would be a great opportunity to get into one of her stories. And I came across Cutthroat. It's been in my cart for a minute, and I think this would be an incredible pick for us. It's giving very much, do you really know who you're married to type energy. I have heard that Octavia Grant writes some wild stories, and I'm here for it, all the way here for it. So that's our first one, Cutthroat by Octavia Grant. Then we have The Wife Before by Shanora Williams. I was introduced to Shanora Williams via her urban fantasy series, the Tethered trilogy. Phenomenal. I have not finished it yet, but I do plan to soon. But I did not know prior to getting into that series that Shanora Williams was actually really well known for her work in like thriller and suspense. And The Wife Before is one that I have heard so many things about. This is about a woman who was the second wife to a pro golfer. And when they get married and they move in together, everything is blissful, but then shit starts getting weird. She finds the diaries of his former wife. And things get really, really creepy and strange. Make sure you drop your pick in the comments below. This is kind of where we vote. We chat and we vote. So make sure if you do want to participate this month, make sure you drop your pick down below. Or even if you don't want to participate this month, but it's a book that you really want to hear me talk about, drop it down in the comments below. Because whatever book we pick, we're still going to discuss. And you can still be a part of it even if you can't read the book this month. All right? I actually hauled this a while back. This is One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole. You guys know When No One Is Watching is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. Alyssa Cole kind of got me back into thriller. Alyssa Cole got me back into thriller and also got me back into historical romances. This one is about a young woman with a sordid past who moves in as a new caretaker to a historic building that is located on an island. But what she does not know is that she is trapped on this island with a murderer. Yeah. And on top of that, any of the things that caused her to take on this new career path also kind of start coming back up to the surface. I have heard really good things about this, but only from like a handful of people. I feel like people aren't really talking about this book. So I was like, yeah, this will be a really, really great one to get into as well. I love me some Alyssa Cole. Her writing is phenomenal. So this, like, no brainer. And if we don't pick this month, it's just going to go on my TBR for June. And then last but not least, in celebration of Mr. S.A. Cosby, because his new book, King of Ashes, is going to be coming out on Tuesday, we will have enough time to get the new book and read it this month. So, King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. This is a thriller that pulls in family dynamics and like crime, like organized crime dynamics as well. We have a sibling that's coming back home after the death of his parents to come and try to rectify some shit that one of his other siblings has been into. And a sister who has been working tirelessly to try to hold everything together, who was also trying to help her brother figure all of this out. And it gets gritty. If you have read S.A. Cosby, you know S.A. Cosby gets intense, like super intense. S.A. Cosby is not for the faint of heart. So this will definitely be another title that is, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be a lot, but I know it's going to be a good time. So that is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. Really excited for whatever book we choose. All four of these just sound so amazing and have been on my radar for a good minute. So if you are interested in reading with us this month, or like I said, even if you can't read the book with us this month, but you do want to hear a full breakdown of the story at some point, then go ahead and vote. Again, the options are Cutthroat by Octavia Grant, The Wife Before by Shanora Williams, One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole, and King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I have been loving doing this book club with you guys, and I just know it's going to be so much more fun just as we continue to grow. We've been having a good time. So if you've been looking for a little like nice casual book club to get into where you don't have to feel like you're doing homework, come join us. Go ahead and drop your pick for this month in the comments below. Now that we have made it through our book club picks for June, let's go ahead and talk about what I'm currently reading, y'all. I'm reading some good shit. Some good shit. First things first, Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen. This is coming out. This is also coming out on Tuesday, and I'm loving it. I'm having such a good time. This is book 2 in the Curve series by Danielle Allen. Book 1 was Curvy Girl Summer, and I read that at the top of the year before I, got the channel reignited and all of that good stuff. I adore Danielle Allen for how she writes plus size characters. This one follows our girl Nina, Miss Nina Grant. She is the best friend to Aaliyah, who was the FMC in book 1. If you have not read book 1, it is phenomenal. It follows a young woman named Aaliyah who is struggling with living in kind of like the overshadowing arc of her sister's passing and trying to find love. And one night she goes on a date. It's a really shitty situation. And there is this fine ass bartender named Ahmad. And he is just clocking all of her tea. He is like, sis, like you act like you really don't want to be here. Like maybe you just need some help trying to pull. So he offers to let her come to the bar and like have all of her dates designated at the bar so he can kind of help give her tips in dating. But really and truly, Ahmad is the man for her. But she believes that he's married, and she chooses not to go for it. She doesn't go for it. But there is so much more to Ahmad than meets the eye. That book was so damn good, and I absolutely adored Aaliyah and the way that she not only handled herself, but especially her nosy ass family. Listen, chef's kiss. Now we have Nina Grant. Nina is a well-known influencer in the fashion community. She is plus size, she models, she creates content, and she is one of those women that has a roster, okay? She has a roster, okay? And they all have their own name. She has the smart one, she has the fun one, she has different guys that she goes to for different aspects of what she looks for in a man. But there's one that really has been getting all of her attention, and that is the fun one. That is Russ. Russ is yummy. He puts it down in the bedroom. He dotes on her. He really does just let her know that she is the priority in his world. I'm about 35% into the book. I did receive an advanced reader copy through NetGalley, so shout out to them for sending me an ARC. Thank you guys. I am thoroughly enjoying it. It's so good. Like, I love Danielle Allen's writing. I love the way she writes these characters, and Nina is everything, like the comebacks, because the fat phobia, like, fat phobia in real life is so real, but fat phobia online is a totally different beast. Fat phobia when you are on a public stage and people know you is different. It's different. And so she has captured that perfectly. And I also love that Danielle Allen has written a content creator into her works that is not so freaking cringy. I've gotten to the point where I really just hate it when authors try to put content creation in their books. A lot of them do it very, very poorly, and they turn it into a caricature as opposed to what it is really like. And I understand if you haven't been in that world, if you're not actually a content creator in the space, if you've never worked with brands, then you probably don't necessarily know everything there is to know about it. But sometimes it gets really frustrating reading some of these characters that they come up with. So I love the way that she is portrayed. I love the way that her career is portrayed. And she is given the boss woman props that she deserves. But Nina is a good time. Nina is a good time because the comebacks are A1, expert level. Craftsmanship. Yeah. So definitely make sure you check that out when it comes out. Then I am also working on The Beauty of the Street Love by Elle Kayson. I was going to try to read Demon's Dream for the Black Romance Readathon. And then I was like, girl, why are you trying to read Demon's Dream for a readathon? Are you okay? No, the answer is no, I'm not okay. But I was like, maybe do something a little bit shorter. This one is really, really good. This follows our FMC Shamar. When we are introduced to Shamar, she is going to meet up with her brother. She is trying to convince him to dump the street life and come move into her house while she's going on vacation. She just wants to make sure that he is good. They recently lost their parents, and her priority is just him. She wants to make sure that Tay is good, that he never wants for anything, but also that he's not in a bunch of bullshit. Well, of course, when she's going over there to try to convince him to come home with her, he gets pulled up on by one of the head members of one of the most notorious crime families in their city. And turns out he has taken some of their weight and is trying to hide it. And they've come to collect. So of course, when they realize how much Shamar means to him, they're like, okay, we know exactly how to collect. And he says, I'll let you live, but your sister's coming with me. He has plans for her, but he also has plans for Tavion too. And so he takes Shamar, throws her in the car, knocks her out, and when she wakes up, she is at his older brother, Trey's home. He is the eldest of this crime family. He was away for a while in jail, and he's a bit of a creepy motherfucker because he's the enforcer. He makes people disappear. Yeah, but Shamar is everything that he's kind of been looking for. She has this softness to her, but she's still really gritty. She's really nerdy. Almost kind of has like that church girl thing going on, but like don't underestimate her, cause like she'll pull up. And he is like obsessed with her, even though he doesn't want to really acknowledge that he's obsessed with her. So far, I am enjoying it. There is a lot going on though, because we don't just get POVs from Shamar and Trey. We get POVs from Shamar, from Tavion, from Trey's little brother, from Shamar's best friend. So there's a lot going on there. Like, it's been taking me a minute to like catch up and keep all of the names together, because all of their names start with T. All the men's names start with T. I'm just like, oh Lord Jesus. But outside of that, I'm having a really, really good time. It was actually one of the reading suggestions from my sweet friend Divine. You can follow her on here as well as TikTok and Instagram. And she never steers me wrong with her urban romance recommendations. So yeah, it's been a good time. I've been having a wonderful time. And then we do have some bookish news. I like kind of throwing this in here, just some things that are going on in the book world. We do have Elle Seegers. She is going from indie to trad. She has just signed a multi-book deal with Bloom Books. Y'all know Bloom be picking up all the girls. All the girls. This was a good choice. I've been saying for years that Elle Seegers needs to be traditionally published under Bloom. Like, I don't know how many live streams I have said this on. She needs to be traditionally published under Bloom. So the New Haven series is going to be recovered and republished under Bloom Books. I believe she said that with each book that comes out, there will be a month to get the indie covers. So if you do want to make sure all your covers match, you still want to get the indie covers, then go ahead and like make sure you get them, but you will have some time to get them after the release of each book. I need to get the last 2 books in the series, and then there are, I think, 3 more unreleased titles that have also been signed under Bloom. I don't know if they're going to be in the New Haven series or if they're going to be spinoffs. We know that we have gotten a little bit of a break off from that with her novellas, Again and Speak. They are outside of the New Haven universe, even though they do tap into some of those New Haven characters. So we'll see what we get from that. I am desperate to see what the covers are going to look like because her covers are so beautiful. Like, they are so stunning. So I am really curious to see what Bloom is going to do with those covers. I don't just want flowers on them. I don't just want flowers on them. That's for sure. We already got that from Janelle when she did her floral special edition release. That's, I think, on her website. I don't know if she is still selling that. I know she does sell them a lot at signings and stuff. But I don't just want flowers, because that's what they did with the Hoop series from Kennedy Ryan. And don't get me wrong, like, the covers were beautiful, and I love that the covers really did fit each like female character. But I don't just want flowers on the covers. We have enough flowers on covers, especially with all these gorgeous Black men and women. I don't just want flowers. Then, for those of you who love St. Abby, the Mindfuck series is supposed to be getting picked up for adaptation. It is supposed to be getting adapted into a series. I'm sure we'll hear more about it later on, but I was really surprised that no one's really talking about it as much as people love St. Abby. St. Abby is a deceased author that people have really just been trying to like keep her work alive and really continue to bring those stories out and talk about them. And I have not gotten into the Mindfuck series yet, but I do plan to. So I definitely want to go ahead and get into that before it does fully get adapted. Oftentimes when books get adapted into film and television, it takes a while for anything to happen with it. So I'm sure I have some time. But yeah, for those of you who love you some St. Abby, be on the lookout. That's really exciting news. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about that. All right, last but not least, y'all know we do need to talk about new releases. We gotta talk about some new releases. We have a lot of really good things coming out, and actually several of these I've gotten art copies of. I am so thankful. Like, it's to the point now where I don't need to, like, I don't even need to request a lot of them. If I've reviewed something from a publishing house, a lot of them just send them to me. And it's really sweet, but really overwhelming, because I don't have time to read all these books, y'all. But I'm so appreciative. I am so appreciative of all of it. First things first, the 2 that we've already talked about, Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen and King of Ashes from S.A. Cosby, come out this coming Tuesday, June 10th. Both of those will be out. I'm really excited. We have our Black plus size romance, and then we also have a new crime family thriller coming. So those I just know are going to be phenomenal. And then we also have Shadowed Obsession by Evelyn Leigh. I did receive an art copy of this. I'm going to be starting it tonight. When you guys see this, I will have already started it. I'm so excited about this one. I adored Elevator Pitch by Evelyn Leigh. And so when I saw that she had another title coming out this year, I was like, yeah, I need to get that. Shadowed Obsession is supposed to be a rivals to lovers romance. We have two main characters that are both parts of like rival private detective networks. And they're basically like supposed to scope each other out. I haven't started it yet, but I am going to start it tonight. I'm really excited to get into this. And of course we have a Black plus size FMC, and just looking at the representation in there. Outside of just the plus size rep, we have PMDD in there and several things that I also deal with. So I'm just like really excited to see how this goes. That arc was gifted to me via Good Girls PR. So shout out to Good Girls for pulling up. They always provide some of the best authors when it comes to arc reading. We also have The Bonekeeper's Daughter by Elise Frye. This comes out actually today when I'm filming this. So when you guys see it, it's already out. This was an art provided to me from the Nerd Fam. Sorry, I'm getting a little off track because Hank, my little puppy, he's not really little. He wants me to pet him while I'm working. Yeah. So this is The Bonekeeper's Daughter by Elise Frye. And I was given an ARC copy of this in e-ARC via the Nerd Fam. So shout out to them for providing some of these ARCs today. I have started reading this. This is a meaty one. It is thick and there's a lot to take in. We have this young woman who is considered the youngest bone keeper in her town. And so bone keepers are kind of like the keepers of like souls and things like that. And typically it's often a man who is the bone keeper, and typically they're much older when they come into their powers. And this young woman is truly struggling at this point in her life, because once it was discovered that her powers were showing up at an alarmingly rapid speed, the elders in her community decided to take actions that they had never taken with bone keepers before. And they have been keeping her under lock and key and essentially torturing her and keeping it from the greater public within their community. I am only like a few chapters in and I'm really enjoying it, but it's a lot. Like it's a lot. It's one of those you really got to pay attention, but it is a why choose fantasy romance. So I love the concept of it. I love where the story is going. It's just a lot to read through. It's a meaty book. So it is already out. If you love something that is on the darker side, you love why choose and you love those really like deep, meaty fantasy stories, I think that you're really going to enjoy this. I have been enjoying it. It's just taking me a minute to get through it. And then we have Savannah Royals by Lindsay Barrett. This is another arc that was provided to me via the Nerd Fam. I have not started it yet, but I will be starting it this weekend. It seemed like a really interesting story and the cover grabbed me. So really excited to get into that. And then we do have another thriller from Miss Shanora Williams coming out on the 24th. This is Whispers of the Lake by Miss Shanora Williams. I'm excited to get into that. I feel like once I start reading her thrillers, I'm not going to be able to stop. If you're interested in some new from Shanora Williams, that's coming out at the end of the month. We have One Dark Kiss by Rebecca Zennetti. This is book 2 in the Grim Bargains duet, I believe. I think it's supposed to be a duet. This is I think this started off as a Beauty and the Beast retelling, if I'm thinking of book 1 right. I did apply for an arc of this, so we will see. That's also coming out on the 24th. So I'm excited to check that one out as well. We have so many Beauty and the Beast retellings though. So it's like, At this point, we're just trying to see whose is superior. All right, guys, that is it for this installment of Book and Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves today. Of course, the recipe I will have linked down below, as well as the original recipe. The original recipe is one that I've already had linked for you guys, but I will be putting my recreation of that down in the description as well for you guys if you would like to come along with me and cook. I'm still trying to figure out where I want to put all these recipes, y'all. I gotta figure it out. I'm thinking about doing a Discord, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out at some point, but that will be down in the description box below. Again, if you guys would like to tap into this month's book club pick, make sure you put in what you would like to read for this month down in the comments below. That is how I will be tallying what we are going to read this month. So make sure you put down below which of the books I mentioned for you guys down below, so I know what you want to read and we can pick our book of the month. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And well, shit, y'all, just make sure y'all keep on reading. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.